Is Neil deGrasse Tyson a hack?
Both. Very smart, loves to hear himself talk. He can be both extremely intelligent while also an egotistical a-hole. His credentials in astrophysics are legit. He often talks about areas where he's very well informed but not an actual expert, like other areas of physics, and can annoy some experts with his simplifications. Edit: yes, simplification is often necessary in teaching, that wasn't my issue. But I know some experts in other fields of physics who take issue with the way he simplifies things outside his direct area of astrophysics. They'd also simplify things for teaching but feels he doesn't always do that well outside his specialization.
He has the credentials and he's a great educator. He's not publishing groundbreaking papers, but he's definitely a smart guy.
It's the fiction/non-fiction paradox. IRL Neil deGrasse Tyson is very good in his field. Geniuses in fiction are good at every single field ever. Most people are more likely to encounter geniuses in fiction than real life, so they treat the smart person like an everything expert.
He knows physics, especially some areas related to cosmology and astronomy. He is good at explaining and attaining listeners' interest. He is also pretty good at picking up new stuff. All in all, he is great at what he does, educating public. He's just an egotistical a-hole. I have missed the encounters that make people think that. Maybe he is, but I haven't noticed, because I don't watch him that much. But I've seen interviews where he is learning together with the listeners and seen discussions where he is happily corrected by specialists, especially in other fields. So at least in some contexts he is not too egotistical and does not let his ego get in the way.
Is he really what he makes himself out to be? I don't think he makes himself to be anything more than he is. He is carrying himself as a guy genuinely interested in science and passionate about making others understand and appreciate it. If you are talking about some other aspects, please provide examples of him elevating his credentials or behaving like he was. I suspect the backlash might arise because some fanboys consider him to be a great scientist or some kind of a cosmos guru above scientists. I don't feel like he is actually pretending to be up there with or above them.
He knows the maths.
NDT considers himself a science communicator. People hate on him, but there's no doubt he gets people interested in the STEAM fields, and that matters to me. I was young and didn't know much about astrophysics and space, and NDT got me really interested in those subjects. I can look past his science pedantry. You can tell there's no ill will behind any of it. He can be intelligent and egotistical a-hole at the same time, I believe. His knowledge is very much specialist. He seems to forget that though. He seems to think he's an expert in all science. The first one that comes to mind is, why bother with reducing greenhouse gas emissions? We should just invent something to pull the gases out the atmosphere. What a great idea, Neil. Why did no one think of that before? Thousands of experts in that field were running around like headless chickens and forgot that we could just invent something. He tried way too hard to make himself sound smart sometime and have couple of Jaden Smith philosophy moment. A lot of people get annoyed with him for being sort of joyless about things people get excited about. Like he'll go on Twitter and say that the type of eclipse everyone is pumped about is actually quite common, so the excitement is unwarranted. He's a wet blanket. And sometimes he comments on things outside of his field and comes across as arrogant. But he is a legit astrophysics who is passionate about educating the public. Someone said, he has become the, technically, guy lately. He likes to be the smartest person in the room, and inserts himself into discussions and debates outside his areas of expertise, where a wiser person might listen instead of speaking. Highly intelligent people who are not assholes are exceedingly rare. Assholes who think they are smart, stable geniuses, but are instead loud, moronic buffoons are literally everywhere. Personally, I think Neil is a good guy whom is frustrated with the incredibly anti-science rhetoric of the day. And I don't blame him one bit. He seems like a good ambassador type, dumbing complex things down so dimwits like us can understand. Although I thought he had some sex scandal going on. What happened with that? There's a definite tendency among scientists, especially in physics, that once they reach a certain age they assume they know what researchers in all the other subjects are doing wrong. Tyson is an expert in astrophysics. But when he starts talking about evolution, psychology or history, he's no more educated than the average internet reply guy. It's called the Dunning-Kruger-Joe Rogan effect. Tyson is obviously a very smart physicist, but because of this he thinks he knows a lot more than he does about other topics. I also think he's one of these people who has a real hard-on for science. Science is obviously a very powerful and useful tool, but it has its limits. Science doesn't give us answers on morality and philosophy. I don't know how much he publishes. Most PhDs are expected to pump it out, or you're a failure. That's honestly very common in my field. I'm a physics undergrad and I see such narcissist pricks every day. Fam. And I can only imagine how more common it is as above you go. His attitude is not that of a scientist. Humility goes a long way. Let's say it like this.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.